Partial preterism is a belief that most of the recorded prophecies in the Bible have already been fulfilled, and they would say, however, that the new heavens and new earth are yet to come. And a lot of those people will also tell you that the second coming is yet to come, because they would say that the new heavens and new earth are established the same day as the second coming. This is simply inaccurate, and it's very easily disproven by Matthew 24, because it gives a specific chronology of events, which then is highlighted with the second coming of Christ. And then in verse 34 of the chapter it says, "Verily I say unto you, this generation," which is the generation in which these things happen, "this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled." So everything that was just described previously in the chapter is something that is yet to happen. Yes, when we're dealing with things before the Great Tribulation described, or well, I should say Great Tribulation described in Matthew 24:21, things like kingdom rising against kingdom, earthquakes, pestilence, wars, rumors of wars. Of course, yeah, those have been things that have happened all throughout history. However, when we're dealing with the Olivet Discourse, we're dealing with those things happening in a even more specific period of time. Not just the fact that these have already happened in history, all throughout history. We're dealing with something that's happening within one generation, per verse 34. So that immediately gets rid of the doctrine of partial preterism and even full preterism as well. But it's an important verse because it lets us really know that we're dealing with a limited period of time. We're dealing with something in which one person can live to see all these events happen. So the other objection would be to say that, oh, well, it says this generation, that's referring to the very generation Jesus actually spoke these words to when he was on the earth. That's not accurate because, again, we don't believe the second coming has already happened. We don't believe the second coming has happened because the millennium hasn't. We don't believe the millennium's happened, and we don't believe the millennium has happened because we don't believe we're in the new heavens and new earth. Because that immediately happens before the new heavens and new earth, and then before the millennium is a period of 7 years that are going to lead up to that. So, and of course we believe we're not in the new heavens and new earth because of our present condition that we can readily observe, which is the fact that there is sin and death in the world. So all this just goes back to kind of where I started in the first video. But again, I don't believe the second coming has happened because the world will be a whole lot different than it is now. When we take the Bible literally, of course. And that is an absolute in the study. If you don't take the Bible literally, you're just not going to understand the Bible. You're going to twist the Bible instead of let it speak for itself. So, again, that's the Olivet Discourse version of showing you that these things are yet to happen because, of course, if you have some brains, you believe the second coming is yet future. And everything described in the chapter, at least from verse 34 and up, is yet to happen. So, and again, of course, we're talking about from when Jesus started to give his answer to the disciples. So, see you in the next video.